the South Korean government came out and for the first time ever took public accountability for the fact that they were basically just selling kids for a long time. Post-Korean War, there was a bunch of South Korean children that were adopted, primarily to the US. I think there was over 200,000 children total. Of those like 200,000, 150,000 of them were kids that went to America. So the most common example I could find is in a lot of cases, these adoption agencies in Korea, which are making money off of like letting foreigners adopt the kids, would run into situations where maybe a child in their care would die.
Jesus.
So I, as an American who wants to adopt a child, maybe thinks, oh, I would love to help out this orphan from the Korean War, and I learned her name, and I want to bring her over, adopt her, bring her into my family, right? And I go through that process, and the agency gives me all their background information. I adopt the child. I sign like paperwork in the US to make them a US citizen.
Okay.
But on the other side of this is the adoption agency that quietly that child passed away during the time in their
They're just switching
care,
the kids?
and they just swap a new kid in that who's, for example, whose parents are still alive. So a lot of the kids weren't orphans at these agencies, right? They're just kids put up for adoption
crazy.
with their birth parents still alive. A bunch of these Korean adoptees over time found out that their backgrounds were
They're
fake.
not orphans.
And that this large-scale, basically adoption fraud had been happening in Korea throughout all this time. And a bunch of people have challenged this and tried to take these cases to the South Korean government and to get them to acknowledge that this happened.